Welcome to Bringing Simplicity Unfiltered. I'm Greta.
I'm Judy.
We're super excited. Today, we decided to throw you all a curveball, throw ourselves a curveball, just keep things exciting and interesting.
Yeah.
So, we utilize vidIQ, and they give you daily topics that you can talk about. And so, I've picked three that I think could be fun to talk about. And so I have them here, and I am having Judy select one, two, or three.
Okay. I'm going to go with 3.
Okay, that one was revamp your team's productivity in 5 steps.
Ooh, okay. This one's going to hit a lot of you, I feel like, including us.
I know. I was
Or-
like, I did see that one, and I was like, oh man, we probably could talk through this. And this is truly bringing simplicity unfiltered. We don't have 5 steps planned. We have not talked about this.
No,
No. So,
don't have.
welcome to the Madhouse. This is how we would usually, Judy and I meet pretty frequently. We try to meet at least for 30 minutes every day. Sometimes we meet for like 2 hours a day. And we talk about things like this because it obviously contributes to the success of our own business as well as those businesses that we run on behalf of our clients.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So, 5 things to increase your team's productivity. And these aren't going to be in the order that you should probably do them, but these are 5 things. And maybe Greta, I don't know if you're going to get 5 things and I'm going to get 5 things, or we're going to come up with 5 things and then find our top 5 things out of those 10. We'll see. But the first thing that comes to mind is um, one is starting with you. So, meaning like
Mm.
you have to know what it takes for you to be the most productive and then communicate that with the team. If they don't know that you prefer a daily, like a daily message in the morning where you're like, hey, Greta, these are your meetings for the day. These are the top things that we have going on. We're 48 hours to launch. And by the way, so and so hasn't done this yet. Like, if you prefer that in a cute little package in Slack and you like want that message, like that's your thing, awesome. Some people like that in Slack. Some people want it in an email. Some people want a text message. Some people, want certain ways. So, one is, I think that for you as a leader, you have to know how you want it delivered to
Mm.
you, and how your team is best give you information to make it easy for you to allow them to be productive on the things that they're assigned.
Love it. My first one that came to my mind was that as leaders, as visionaries, as movers and shakers, we tend to be people who move fast, have really high standards, and have a way that we like to do things and want other people to do them. And so, what that can then translate to is what may or may not feel like to our team nitpicking, micromanaging, which I have thoughts on micromanaging, especially if you watch Layla Hormozi. She had like a really good video on that. But, anyways, we're not going to go down that. It still is a feeling from your team of feeling micromanaged or feeling disempowered, like they're just doing it your way, so they have no like ownership or buy-in. And so when I am consciously trying to increase productivity, I have to also do a really good job specifically handing out praise, allowing my team to brainstorm with me. Hey, even if I know how I would do it, hey, how would you guys do this? What are some things that I may not be missing? And allowing time and space for those type of conversations to happen, because the more buy-in and the more appreciated your team feels, the more productive in theory they will be.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're speaking in general terms
Yeah.
here.
No, I like that a lot. Of the things that you said, what made me think, it actually made me think of my second thing was like you want to show that, like, you want to get buy-in and you want to show them, you want to praise them for wins, but they have to know what a win is. And so what I mean by that
Mm,
is they need to know metrics. So like, this is a winning metric. When you complete it in this time frame, and this is how you complete it at 100% like excellence level, like this is what excellent looks like for this task or this project, and then this is what mediocre or good or average looks like, and this is what poor looks like, and the time frames that it needs to be put in. So KPIs and metrics with that. So then you can give your team, Greta, like you said, you can give them free reign to say, hey, I want to know your thoughts and I want to empower you to make what is average good and or great. You know, like make whatever is good or average great. But you have to do it within this time. Like if you're like, of course you can make something great if you spend 3 months working on it, but like I'll have freaking 3 months for you to get that done. You know what I
right.
mean? And so like I need it done in 3 days. So like, how are we gonna do this, right? How are we gonna make this happen? And so I just want to. So I guess that's my second thing is like giving them clear metrics on, hey, this is what excellence looks like. This is what great looks like, and then walk them through, like you said, involve them in coming up with those if they're performing at average. Because if they don't know, some people might think like, oh, I'm doing great. Like Greta told me to send her this message every day. She's doing great. But like they send you a message and it's like not usable
No,
at all. Like they just give you something like I really thought that I helped her. And a lot of times they're like trying to do their best but if they don't know what great looks like, then they're not going to be productive and you're going to continue being a leader that's like draining yourself in those unnecessary things and you become less productive as a leader.
for sure. So that ties directly into the next one that came to my mind, which is funny that I didn't go to data and metrics, because usually that would be me that went to data and metrics. But I also was trying to put on my Judy hat. And I was thinking through, for those of you who don't know, I've read the Dan Martell book like 3 times now because it's definitely an area of opportunity for me. And when I think about ensuring that my team is productive, it really goes into, Dan Martell breaks out the 10-80-10. So 10% prep, 80% they're completing, 10% is sort of finishing up, checking work, etc. And when I think about setting my team up for being productive, I really have to be focused in that 10. So do they have everything that they need in order to complete the project that I'm asking them to complete, including like background information, like a full understanding of like how what they're doing plays into a bigger like piece, like if we're just asking them to do one. And then like, have I made sure they have access to the systems? Have I made sure that they like have the photos, have the videos, have all of the things? And we can often point to, oh, they're not getting stuff done, or they always have a million questions. But I've started to look at it as, if they have a million questions, I probably didn't set myself up to have time to adequately provide that 10%.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's good. And so like even like you said a lot in there. By the way, that was kind of like 5 steps in there. But no, but it's a major thing, right? Like so we're like obviously all of these are overarching when we're thinking like we're CEOs, we're owners, we're founders, we're all of these things. Um that does, and it should take a lot on you. Like you are the owner, you are the CEO, you are the leader, you are the founder. And so like that is a huge responsibility. Like it sounds like, oh, I'm just going to do 20%, but like that 20% is what gets you 80% of your team's work and productivity. Like that's huge. So if you're just thinking, oh, that's not going to be much, like it is a lot of time. Okay, so that made me think of another thing is when we're doing the 10, Greta, when I'm doing that 10% at the end where I'm like reviewing their work and like about to give them feedback and things like that, some things that I think about as well, because there are things that you can control and you can't control, and things that are coachable and not coachable.
Mm.
So then I think of is as I'm continually doing things, and probably like the fourth or fifth time, I'm like, if this is where they're completing things average after my fourth or fifth time, is this the right, or is this person in the right seat on the bus, right? Like we've heard that over and over again. Is this the right person for the role? What is it that I'm not doing? Like what 10% am I not giving or 20% I'm not giving? Or is it that because a lot of times it's because they're bored, They're not interested. Like if they're underperforming and not productive, sometimes it's just that they're bored. They're not interested. It's not something that they're interested in doing. And yes, we all have tasks that we have to do, right? But like, let's say 80% of their work is something they're not interested in doing. They're
Right.
really not going to want to stick around a lot. Um, so it's a reflection period, and so you are continuously, I know I am, Greta, I don't know about you, but like continuously being like, hey, is this person in the right spot? Is this the right role for them? Especially when you're in a startup and you're moving fast and it's early on and you're building a new program and things like that, which a lot of our coaches are building new programs. Yes, they've built tons of businesses before, but that business, just because someone has done really well in that business doesn't mean that translates to this business. So really evaluating yourself as a leader and your team on, hey, and sometimes it's not like, a lot of times people say it's not a culture fit, but really it's like not a leadership and team member fit.
Hmm.
Meaning when we hire, a lot of times we go into, am I the right person to lead this person to be great at what their genius is? And sometimes I'm not, and that's okay. Like that's okay. And so you have to recognize that as a leader.
Yeah. So you talked about the 20% as a leader, CEO, owner, founder, like that it's easy to be like, oh, I'm only doing 20% of the work, but how impactful that 20% of the work was. And the next place my brain went to is we are very fortunate to get to spend time with very successful entrepreneurs. And this isn't the first time you're hearing me say this, but this is the first time we've said it to the unfiltered world, that the one common denominator of all of those super successful people is very concentrated effort on a specific outcome. And I'm not talking about a business that makes money. Like, it's like, I am going to focus on these three things in my business because I know that they are needle movers. And when I think about how that also translates to a productive team, if you have ADHD, you will understand this, probably even more so than the general world. But sometimes when we have a lot of things on our plate, we're like squirrels, dogs chasing squirrels, and we're running all over the place, which then to the outside world makes it appear as though we are not productive. However, the question is, have you as an owner set a really focused energy of these are the things that matter the most? These are the things that have to get done. Because it is so easy to be a squirrel running around the neighborhood or a dog chasing
Right.
a squirrel.
Totally. 100%. I mean, I feel like, and that's why, but like that's what makes, honestly, if you have ADHD or you have some form of like, "Ugh, I just want to do all these things and I just have all these things and my mind's racing." Like
Yeah, it could
you're
be
probably is,
multi-passionate. I mean, I think
yeah,
most
they
entrepreneurs,
are. And I think everyone
yeah,
is. Yeah, they're all like that's wonderful. But when you can hone it in and really give your team, like you said, Greta, that direction and that clarity on what it is, like these are the non-negotiables that we have to do every day. I actually just sent a Slack message this morning where I was like, okay, I want to give you more clarity again. Like, like just getting your team to understand that they like, and I always tell you this, Greta, I'm like, you are thinking like 50 steps ahead, whereas this person on your team is thinking like, right now, today, I have to check off my checklist that Judy and Greta gave me to do today, right? And so, sharing as much of that with them is going to allow them to be more productive and be great because they're like, oh, that's why that is so important. You're not just telling me to do that because you want me to be busy or, you want to give me the
yeah.
busy tasks because you don't want to do them as a CEO or owner. Right? Of course, nobody wants to do a
And I
busy
think
task.
that is where the data comes in, right? And
Yeah.
again, I mean, I think we're the type of people who get to monitor that. But when
Mhm.
somebody has a really concrete understanding of like, we are trying to impact the percentage of showed book calls,
Yep.
then I know that all of my energy and attention needs to go towards people showing up for calls.
Mhm. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. And what does that look like, right? And if they're having challenges, do they know what to do?
Mm-hmm.
when they reach a roadblock, because they'll get their daily report and they'll be like, I got 2 booked calls today. Like after like 2 hours with only 1 booked call, like what? Why
Yeah.
didn't you
What
reach
were you
out?
doing? Yeah.
What were
Yeah.
you doing? Yeah, like what? Well, like so, and we usually say like what's one thing that you've learned from today, or what's one thing that you're gonna do tomorrow to improve from today? Like asking those questions, involving your team, like you said earlier, Greta, involving them in the solution, like those are huge. So making it easy on you too, to allow you to be productive. Like those, I guess that's another thing, is like having end of day reports is a huge thing for us, because it allows them to have reflection. It allows us to kind of know, hey, where are they at, and where can we pull ourselves in or give resources to be like, hey, I know you had a challenging time getting those, couple booked calls. Like, great job for getting 2 booked calls. And I see you already have a plan for tomorrow. Another thing that could be helpful for you is this. But like, if we didn't get those, how much would we have to question or pull if all we saw was, oh, I got 2 booked calls? Like, we would question like so many things. But you have to preserve your energy as the owner, as the leader of the business, to then allow yourself to give your team time to be like, oh, and quickly react, right? Like, the quickest thing is like, yes, you're gonna fail quickly, but like you gotta rebound just as quickly as you did. I mean, right now we're in the NBA playoffs. Like, after you have 2 losses in a row, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta figure out like, we are going away now. Like what's going on if we want to stay in these playoffs?
Oh my God, I love that. Okay, Judy, super tough question. How
Mm.
does money, how does money play a part in increasing your team's productivity? Like how we're paying them.
Okay, I was gonna say spending money on the team, or like what do we mean? Spending money on the team. Yes. So, okay, there's a few things that come into mind as I think about that, of what you're asking. Are you asking how much?
Do we have to be giving constant raises, right? Like I
Okay,
think
okay.
it's
I was just asking like
interesting.
how do you define like what? Because there's
Well,
so
and
many
it's interesting
questions.
because in the W-2 world,
Mhm,
raises are few and far between. They happen
mhm.
once a year, and people talk about getting their like 25-cent raise. But I think people come into the entrepreneurial space because they're looking for that opportunity for uncapped earning potential. But it's an interesting place to be in an entrepreneurial space where you are the CEO, owner, whatever, and most often you have 1099 contractors who technically own their own companies.
Mhm.
So they're looking for that same uncapped income earning potential, but you also don't want to have consistent turnover. So
Mhm.
how do you position yourself to be paying enough that you're keeping people motivated to stay in that role?
Yeah. That goes back to you being a leader. Like, I know for me early on, and I always had that. You always have the entrepreneur mentality. If like I always had it, and you probably always did too. Like, even when I was working
Oh
for,
my gosh, me and Tom
right?
were talking through that of like I was actually laughing because we have somebody with dandelions in the neighborhood. And I was like, I remember being like 6, 7 years old and charging a penny a dandelion, knocking on people's doors. Hey, I'll pull your dandelions for a penny a dandelion. And it was a funny
Right.
story because the lady was like, "Ooh, I can do that." And she opened her back door and it was like one of those backyards where it's like, where's the grass? And so
Right.
like he was like, dude, a penny a dandelion. I mean, think about it. But anyways, yes, I've always had that
Right?
entrepreneurial,
You
like,
always have it.
yeah.
But when we work for other people, we're driven by, yes, we get to work for ourselves, but
Mm,
it's also a trade of, what else am I getting out of it? Like, every business owner that I ever worked for, I was seeking some type of mentorship from
mm.
them, and I was going to get something out of it. So you have to be a leader that people are like, yeah, I could go off and do my own thing, or think that they could like go out and do what Judy and Greta does. Not exactly, but something similar. Like, everybody can, and I believe that everybody could in some way, shape, or form. They just haven't figured out what that is yet.
Yeah.
Um, but what makes them want to stay? So what makes them want to stay is the continual resources, right? That they don't have to go out and find their own clients. Like, me and Greta are hunting and farming the clients, right? Is the main thing. So making that part easy, but then being so valuable and giving them so many resources and wins early on that they wouldn't have anywhere else. Like you're speeding up, right? The reason why we're actually coaches and mentors to our team as well. And if you're not a coach or mentor to your team, then they may not want to stick around because they're going to want to go to somebody else who's going to invest in them. So a lot of it is that we're investing in them and showing them the outcomes, right? If you're not seeing changes in yourself as a leader, and if you're not seeing changes in your team members within like 3 months, then it's probably not the right fit and it's not going to be something that they're going to stick around. So that's the main thing. And the second thing is give them ways to earn more money. Like bake that in, right? So like if you have team development plans or you have bonus structures and things like that, and we can't do
Technically, we can't do that for
like not
1099.
perform like team
I know, it's like it
development
can't be
plan.
performance-based.
And that's why I say development plans. So team development plans, right? And you can do bonuses, not based on like performance, but you can do bonuses for like, hey, like
Outcomes.
yeah, outcomes. Like this client stayed on for a year. Like right? Like awesome. Like you guys were all a part of having our client who's been here for years now. Everybody gets a bonus just, because of that, right? And so if you have those and you lay those out and you show them the vision of like, hey, I see you here now, but I do see potential in you to go here, because a lot of those people are hungry, but you have to ask them too. I mean, you have to be super curious about your team every single day and know what they're getting up for and fighting for and what makes them proud to come and be a part of your team each and every day, and recognize that. And like you said, Greta, celebrate those wins when they happen, right? Send them
Yeah.
a voice message, send them a video message, send them a gift, like whatever it takes to be like, hey, I appreciate you and what you're doing. And no employee is like ever going to be 100% perfect. Greta and I are not 100% perfect in everything we do. And so I don't know if that answers your question.
I mean, I don't know the right answer. I think there is also a part of me that's like, you do have to be prepared to either lose people as they gain more experience, because if you are a really good leader, they're going to want more money. And whether you're willing to pay that or not, they probably will be able to find somebody who's going to pay it based on the experience and exposure they've gotten from you. And I think that's like, you just have to like recognize that as an entrepreneur, and as a good leader.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of it. Okay, so we have like 3 minutes. We were supposed to give 5 steps to increase productivity in your team. I feel like we probably gave like 30.
We did, but take your top 5, right? Like it just depends on who you are. So action step from this is go and figure out what your top 5 are, I would say don't even start with 5. Like pick one thing from this episode and go and start doing it. If it's like, I gotta do daily reports, I gotta, tell my team how awesome they are. I gotta start telling my team how I want to receive information. Whatever it is for you, go do that one thing, because that one thing's gonna probably take up 10% of your time this week.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so true.
You think it's not gonna be that long. You're like, oh, I just gotta tell my team, and then like they'll send you their first daily report, and you'll be like, that didn't tell them properly. I gotta tell them again.
Doesn't help me at all.
Right? Gotta update my template of my daily report. So yeah, I mean, I wonder, is there anything special we should include in the description or show notes for this episode, Greta? Like, should we include like anything? I mean, if you want feedback on any of your, like, let's say you want feedback on like a daily report or something like that, feel free to text us or schedule a strategy session with us, and we'd be happy to walk through your team in general. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, even our quiz on like how ready are you to attract and convert clients that we just created is still connected to this, because if your team isn't functioning fully, you're not prepared, and we have some questions on that. So that could be fun to take.
yeah.
I'll include that in the description. All right. Bye, everybody. We'll see you next week when we talk about something that we don't know what we're going to talk about.
Okay. Yeah. Bye, everyone.